Hello everybody, my name is Paige and I own the photography business Paper Crane Studios. I posted another video on here yesterday where I was trying to fix up a couple that I did a maternity session for. It turned out a little bit blurry for some reason and people said it went too fast and they'd rather hear me kind of talk them through the process. So I thought I would give this video a try and see if it kind of helps anybody with their greater than Gatsby actions. So the action sets that I have open at the moment are the Innocence Collection and the Radiance Collection. If you could only ever have one Greater Than Gatsby action set, I'd recommend the Innocence Collection just because it's my go-to. I use it all the time. Everybody has their own style and their own preferences, so it's always nice to experiment with the different actions to kind of really figure out who you are as a photography artist. So anyways, I'm gonna get started. I have this image that I took of a little girl 2 weeks ago, and I noticed right away that there's a very green color cast to the image. I definitely don't want this thing here anymore. I probably want to bring up the brightness on her face just a little bit, and I really want to give it this warm evening look. That just really ties it all together because she has such a magical look in her eye, and I really kind of want to bring that out in the image and turn it into something special. So we're going to get started here. So the first thing I do is I fix any of the little flaws that I need to fix. So I'm going to go to the patch tool and super quickly just going to select this guy. If the patch tool doesn't work, or if you end up with weird like fuzziness or like color crap, I don't know, then you can use the clone tool. But anyways, the patch tool seems to work really well there, so we're just going to leave it be. I'm going to select my lasso tool and I'm going to make sure that it's feathered at 100. I'm going to go around the area that I really want to brighten up. That side of the face is fine. So it's feathered here at 100. I always usually keep my lasso tool feathered at 100 because it gives the image or the section of an image a little bit more of a gradual change than a very, what's the word, concentrated one, I guess. So I'm going to go to Image, Adjustments, Match Color. I like going here, then going to Exposure or Curves because I find bringing up the luminance also brings up the proper tones, and I don't lose anything really that's going on in terms of color on my subject, and it can be a little bit more of a gradual kind of change as well. So I'm just going to bring it up to about, see, like that would be too much. Bring it up to about here because I still want to keep the dimension in her face. So right there. And that should be good enough. We're going to wait. And so you can kind of see there was a very, very subtle change in her face. But again, it's all about enhancing the image, not creating this completely new image, unless, of course, that's what you're going for. For me, anyways, I just like to enhance it like in a bunch of different subtle ways because I find that makes the bigger impact. Okay, so looking good. I'm going to add in a sun. This is a Greater Than Gatsby light overlay. This is one of the suns that they have available. I'm going to copy this, paste it right over here. I'm going to go to my layer section and I'm going to choose Screen. Screen gets rid of all of the black in an overlay, so you're left with just the rest of the color, which is nice. So we're going to put it probably just up here. This little sunbeam here. It's always super distracting. So I always have to change my sun around. When you do a sun, and if you have a subject that's close to where you put the sun, you want to make sure that you go to your eraser tool and erase any of the light from the sun that's affecting your subject. I've missed that a couple times, and I go back and look at the image later, and I see that there's this weird patch of yellowy light that's really distracting. So just, yeah, make sure that nothing is affecting your subject because I can always fix her skin to match the lighting later. So I'm going to go to Flatten Image, my Innocence collection, I always use emotional color base. I find that really brings out the color and definitely makes it more dramatic and rich, as promised in the description. And it gives it kind of a nice polished look. However, sometimes it can overdo it with the color, but don't worry, color can always be fixed, or at least most of the time it can always be fixed. So we have it here, and as you can see, it's really concentrating the light on the subject and really pulls out all the colors around her. It's definitely added a lot of overly yellowy, greeny tones to her skin. We're gonna fix that later. And also it's kind of added some like neon greens, which are never fun, but we're gonna fix that, so don't worry. So we're gonna layer, flatten image. So usually after you have your color base, you can go into artistic enhancements and kind of play around with these to find something that you really like. My go-tos are usually Knuffle Bunny, Pleasantly Plum. I do that one if I'm going for a vintagey look. I love Tickle Monster, Bright Light, and I also like Soft Sunlight as well. For this image anyways, because of what I want to do, I'm not gonna really use these. I'm actually gonna use my adjustment layer tool down here, which everybody has. I'm gonna go into color balance. It creates a color balance layer that can be used as a mask or just simply a layer. And I'm going to bring out the reds in the image. And I'm going to bring down that green by going in this direction with the purple. Now, it has affected my subject, but the great thing about this is because it's its own layer, I can simply bring the opacity to about here on my eraser tool and erase the color that's affecting my subject. You can erase a little or you can erase a lot. Because you bring out colors around her, you don't want to leave her with this huge difference in skin tone, because naturally whatever light is happening around you is going to be very reflected on your skin tone. So you want to leave a subtle difference, but not an overbearing one like there was before. So as you can see, I've already really warmed up the image. I'm going to flatten it. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to fix her skin tone. So for this baby specifically, I want to get rid of that Simpson yellow skin that's not on her originally. It was just put there. Oh, I got some on the flower. I don't want to get that on the flower. Okay, I'm going to go into her hair a little bit. She is blonde, so I don't want to affect her hair too much. But there was some gross highlighter yellow going on in the hair that I am more than happy to get rid of. So you can, wherever there's pesky yellow, you could definitely use this to fix it. So we're gonna probably get it around right here. And I'm gonna go in, and usually you end up with a lot of reds on the skin tone. Reds are just fine for this child in particular, but I do find in the shadow shaded areas there's a lot of red that can really kind of shine through. So I just want to go over that. So as you can see, like at the bottom of her hair, there's like a lot of red, and around her eyes. I just want to get rid of that, and her nose. We don't want to get rid of it too much. I definitely want to keep the lip color and the cute rosy cheeks. So those are going to stay. That's going to go. That's going to go. Okay. There. So that's too much red gone, in my opinion. So I'm just going to make this a subtle 28. and then that should be good enough for me. I can always really add in some reds using Rosy Cheeks, which I'm definitely going to do when I go to fix her eyes, which I'm going to do now. Not that there's anything wrong with them. I just really want to bring out the brown. She has gorgeous brown eyes. Her parents are in trouble because she's going to give them like mad puppy dog eye looks. This kid's going to have it down. So anyways, we use that. My opacity is at 66%. I like keeping lower opacities in things because if it's too harsh at first, it freaks me out. So I like going in at it in a more subtle way, and then kind of using this. So I do find when I first started, I went way too heavy with the eyes, and I realize now how creepy that looks. So I make sure that it's definitely a lot more toned down and natural. You want to make sure that those whites aren't overly white. You don't see children walking around with these crazy eyes ever. So you want to make sure that they look like this. You see cartoon characters and porcelain dolls with those eyes, and let me tell you, those creep me out as well. So anyways, that looks good. I'm going to flatten. So any little skin things that happen to drive me nuts, I'll just use the patch tool to get rid of them. She's got great skin, so I'm not really going to have a problem. But anyways, that looks fine to me. You can always use the skin smoother tool. I try to not use it as much as possible because I also used to go way too heavy on the skin smoother, and I realized that that was probably not the best idea. But I'm just going to go in these areas just because they're distracting. And that's it. I don't want to lose the texture of her skin by using the skin smoother tool too much, because I like seeing the little, not imperfections, but texture of skin. So that's my personal preference anyways. So there we go. And we're going to go down again to Rosy Cheeks in the Radiance collection. And I'm just going over here, maybe over there, open it bigger, go over there a bit, make it nice and subtle. There we go. Another one that I really love using is the, what is this? The Innocence collection? Yep. Innocence collection, the eye foundation. I'll use this for eyes, but I'll also use this for clothes and things that I really want to make pop in an image. You'll kind of see it just helps make things pop. It's a wonderful thing. So I like doing that nice and subtly, just in little areas like that. And we're going to finish up with the butternut, just to nice, kind of help give it that warm feel. Right there. So, layer. And I'm going to just select my lasso tool again, go over her face, and I just want to bring this up just a tad. Okay, so there we go. That's the final image. We're going to go to history, and we're going to look at the beginning, which, as you can see, is green, overcast, neon, and bleh. And then using greater than Gatsby actions and some hand edits, we did that. So it's kind of a great way to transform your image. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed that and you learned something. If you did learn something, let me know. And yeah, there are a million ways that I've done the things that I did, like different ways you can do the things that I did. That's just kind of my process. So yes, thank you so much for watching, and have a great night if you're an Eastern time zone person. Bye.